Another capability that particularly the Siemens controller provides is capabilities for subprogram handling, and I would like to quickly show you how this works. On the Siemens, like I said, it has a very flexible mechanism to define subprograms. I can quickly illustrate that. If somewhere in my program I type an arbitrary text, my subprog for example, and want to see what happens if we simulate that with CSE. So if we do that, I need to do a reset to read in the program again, and then step through the program, and then we get to the line. And in this case, you get an error message from CSE telling you that an unknown metacode call was used. This means that CSE has identified that this my subprog is an unknown keyword. So it's not a G code or an M code or a Siemens command. So it's something that is unknown to the Siemens parser, and something that is unknown to the Siemens parser on the Siemens controller interpreted as a subprogram call. So just a statement that is not listed in the documentation is most likely going to be a subprogram call, and that's what CSE also does. And therefore, for all subprogram call, there's a generalized metacode for that, and this metacode is called call. So next thing to support subprograms would be to add a handler for subprogram calls. So I'm adding a new Siemens command. Try to locate call. Here it is. Okay. And then we need to customize it. And I need the CSE documentation to find out what to do here. It's in the section subprograms and program flow, and the parameter is called subprog with a subprogram name and an optional parameter that tells you if you have the subprogram call along with other commands in the same line. If the subprogram call is called before, for example, motions that are programmed in the line, or afterwards, that's relevant for the Fanuc controller. On the Siemens, it's not allowed to program other things in the same line, so this parameter is irrelevant on the Siemens. It's really on the Fanuc, where you can program a G81 and in the same line a couple of XYZ commands to move to this position and afterwards call the cycle. So we need to customize that. So let's wait until the XML notepad is open. And then we need to insert command with a name. The name is call subprog, and a value, and that is actually value. So here for the subprogram, for the call metacode, you will get two parameters. The first one, value, this one contains the name of the subprogram. So in our case, this should be my subprog. And the second one is a list, and these two square brackets indicate that this is an array. So this one can contain multiple values, and that is actually should you program a couple of parameters that you would like to pass to the subprogram. On Siemens, you program them in round brackets. Then you could get access to those parameters and handle them accordingly. I'm not going to do that for the training, since this is done and covered by the out-of-the-box Siemens 840D CCF file. It supports all the subprogram handling, including parameters, call by value and call by reference. It supports it out of the box, so that you will not have to customize any of those. So there is no point in explaining that in deep detail. So that should do it. So let's save that. I'm saving my MCF file as well. and do a reset. First of all, click the error message part and then simulate again. And this time I still get an error message, but a different one, telling me that the program MySubProc was not found. And that's logical since I didn't create one. So the next thing that I locate my folder that contains the CF file and the subprogram folder below it. And then I will create a new program or new text file, call it mysubproc.spf, since SPF is the extension on Siemens for subprogram files. And just type something. Like this. Save it. And then let's try to execute again. Okay, it's already executed. You see the machine moving. Didn't select a step in. That's why you don't see the subprogram call code. So reset. Let's try it again with step in. And you see now we're switching the stack. We jump into the MySubProc, and here you see the code we've entered into that is contained in the subprogram. So that's how subprograms work. So if you get a program for the 840D and you're not sure whether the statements that you find in the program are subprograms or cycles or real Siemens commands, then the best thing to find it out is either test it with CSE, and if CSE tells you that a subprogram file is missing, there's a pretty good chance that this is a subprogram and it's not a Siemens command. To be really sure, you can open the Siemens programming manual, and this contains in the back, it contains an annex that lists all the Siemens commands, and if the program that you try to execute is not listed in this appendix, then the chance is very good that this is a subprogram, and then you need to get it from the machine. We will cover that later on. Where I find this list. Let's check it again. It's not in the glossary. Where is it? It's here in the table section. G-code and functions. Here it is. So it lists all the available code in alphabetical order. And if you don't find a command in this list, then it's most likely a subprogram or a cycle. Okay, thanks a lot for your attention.